Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We Watch Shudder. My name is Michelle, and who's here with me?
It's JD.
It's JD. It's always
It's a
JD.
it's a very almost staccato JD. Sometimes I let that one draw out really well. I don't
hmm
know why. Today I said nope. We're gonna hit it and we're out. It's
Good
JD.
job. Hit it and quit it. That's what I always say. That's my
Some
motto.
punks do like to hit it and quit it, but
Yep, all the time.
as a
So
general
hello.
rule, I would rather stay and play.
Wow. It's a great song.
Well,
Anyway,
here
okay.
we are. Holy crap!
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I am just thinking of Baby Got Back now. So fun fact, I used to be I've always been 5'3". Not always. I was a baby at some point and I wasn't. But for the majority of my life I've been 5'3", and the dimensions in Baby Got Back 36, 24, or 36 or whatever it is, those used to be my dimensions and I was so fucking proud.
Only if she's 5'3".
Exactly. Yep.
Anyway.
Okay. Hello. Welcome. If you are here for Spooktober episodes, and you've never listened to us before, I'm so sorry. But hello, welcome. Thank you for trying us now. We hope that you will give us a second chance.
Um,
Yes, JD.
Michelle, if they've never listened to us
no.
before, why would they be here for Spooktober episodes?
Because they saw us on their Facebook feed and
Right,
got
but
curious.
they're not gonna know it's a Spooktober episode until they get in and we start talking about Spooktober, right? All they don't know that we got all these kitschy names that we totally made up all on our own and didn't steal from anybody else with this whole gimmick of watching a movie every day of the month, which is totally our original concept.
Yeah, nobody else has done that. Nobody else watches
No.
a movie every day in October and calls it Spooktober.
Right.
Definitely
No, it never
not.
happens.
But we do, as the
What am I
originators
on?
of this thing. That's what we do. So hello, my name's
Hi.
Michelle. That's JD. So Spooktober. I don't know why you even have me start the Spooktober episodes because JD's very specific about how we work this schedule out. Here's the deal. Every day we have been releasing an episode in Spooktober, and we have been alternating them as per JD's request / demand, so that every other day is either family friendly or adult content. He hates that I call it adult content because he thinks that's porn, and I wish it was porn, but it's not. It's just R-rated and unrated stuff. And then in each respective category, we have been working backwards. So it's been like Dark Harvest was the adult thing, and then Spirit Halloween from 2022 was the family thing, and then Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark kind of fell in the adult side, and that was 2019. But then Curse of Bridge Hollow, that's family, and that's 2022, and that's different order because that is the family friendly side. So listen, we've been doing this. He set it up. He just tells me when to record, and it culminates in something that was very, very important to him, which is that on Halloween, we release Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, 1982, the only Halloween one that does not have Michael Myers. Dear God, I blanked out for a second about who's in Halloween. Also, all of this in a very important key part that I missed because there are so many rules, and that is that everything has to do with Halloween. Very, very core part of it had to be Halloween. Some things I put on the suggestion list, JD said was not Halloween enough, and so I wasn't allowed to watch it. Mean Girls. I'm so sad. There's a song about Halloween, and I will continue to be mad about this until I die, and then I'll continue being mad about it in the afterlife, whatever that looks like. So all of that is to say hello, welcome. Idle Hands is today's episode. I've never seen it before. I had never seen it before. I have now because we're recording, and I did watch the movie, unlike Jenna, who never watches the movie. Jenna, Idle Hands, 1999. It's the adult half.
Yeah, but
Tired.
isn't Jenna, who never watches the movie Jenna, the reason this movie is on our list because she's watched it a jillion times?
Wow, you do have a point. This is the first time Jenna watched a movie before I did. Ever.
Yeah, and saw it a lot. Idle Hands, 1999. Is that right, Michelle?
Correct. Yep, good year.
Side note-
Actually, no, I was 10. That was a terrible, terrible year. That's when the bullies.
By the way, I was going to ask you after that wonderful breakdown of my particular structural neuroses for the good people who listen to our show. When I schedule my next appointment with my therapist, do you just want to come and explain all my shit to them for me?
Funny that we are getting a little bit into the therapy portion because I was going to say during yesterday's session, I had to explain what the Squelch files were to my
Lovely.
therapist. And it's okay, you guys, the Squelch files, if there's a squelch, squelch is squelching or squelched in a subtitle for a movie or a TV show. I collect it. I'm up to almost 1,600. I might have 1,600. There are some I haven't posted on the website yet. It's really, really fun. It's crazy, and explaining that to my therapist definitely gave her a perspective of who I will be going forward. So yeah, JD, I explained the Squelch files to my therapist. I feel like I'm prepared to explain your Halloween breakdown and how it sometimes leads to Halloween breakdowns.
Right. And
Yeah.
look,
We
it's
both have
not
our
that,
things.
Michelle, it's not that. You made it seem like it's so complicated, though, and it's not. It's not. They're all movies. They're all movies that are about Halloween. They're split into categories based on family friendly or not family friendly, and each category individually runs backwards in time while we alternate from one side to the other.
Except Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 2019, that could have definitely been on the cusp of both of those. So I don't know how you chose one or the other. That's too complicated for me.
You think Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark could have been considered a family-friendly horror movie?
100%.
I
Yes.
mean, I guess you are the person who, saw, The Exorcist when you were in the womb or whatever. I don't know.
Yep. That
But,
shaped who I am.
Yeah.
True.
So,
True.
well, if you're still
Idle
with
Hands.
us and this is your first time tuning in, congratulations, you passed the test.
we're
We're going to
sorry.
talk about movies now.
Yeah.
Idle Hands. Yeah, Michelle, you said
Idle
you've
Hands.
never seen this before. I
I
have
have
seen
now.
this. Yeah, well, right. Yeah, I get that. I'm saying before. Why do I even bother?
Before
trying?
today.
Wow, Jesus. Anyway, what I'm saying is I had seen this once before, but I saw it way back. Not in theaters, so I think it was maybe a year or so after it had come out. I saw it on home video. You guys remember those? Half of you probably have never even seen a video cassette in your life, but
Therapy portion again. Good.
No, this is
We're
just the
old.
cranky old man portion.
Fair.
But no, I had seen it once. I remember it from just being the right age that this movie would have been marketed directly at the time it was new. But I didn't remember a lot about it except that I didn't it wasn't a big memory or in any way. Like, I don't remember specifically hating it. I don't remember specifically loving it. And so here we are back again. Did you, I'm just realizing I didn't bother to ask you before we started recording because I'm not anything even approaching professional. Did you figure out which Descrippy script we're going to use for this one?
Yep. IMDb is fine. It's from
I love
1999.
it.
It barely tells you anything. It
Slap
did not
'em with
ruin the
it.
movie for me. So, yeah, here's the Descrippy script. A teenage slacker's right hand becomes possessed with murderous intent. Idle Hands, 1999, rated R, an hour and 32 minutes. Ugh, back in the day, they used to be reasonable lengths. Back in my day.
Oh, yeah. They didn't
Ugh.
fuck around.
No, JD,
Yeah.
I'm also realizing Titanic is the reason that movies are too long, and I hate Titanic now. I just had an epiphany. It's all Titanic's fault. There was definitely no movie longer than an hour and a half before that. Okay, JD, would you like to hit us with your spoiler-free thoughts while I eat noodles on mute?
Yeah, absolutely. My spoiler-free thoughts are, a side note, by the way, you don't have to mute the noodles, Michelle. You're a human being, and if these people can't handle the fact that human beings eat noodles sometimes, that's on them.
We're a
Anyway.
mukbang podcast now.
My reaction to it this time around is very similar to what my reaction must have been the first time around. It's silly. It's ridiculous. You know, it's a sort of teenage, college freshman, sort of ridiculous comedy with some splattery horror elements involved here. Nothing about it was particularly troublesome or upsetting to me in any way. Nothing about it is particularly great. I imagine that it was enjoyable when I was 18, 19 years old. I imagine 18, 19-year-olds today, I don't know, maybe would be able to find some enjoyment in this. But this is another one that for me just runs right down the middle. I got nothing against it. I'm not particularly for it. I am going to lean a little on the positive side on this one and give it a 3 skull.
Wow. 3 human skulls out of 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think probably the reason I'm going with 3 skulls on this one is because there is a very decent amount of Devon Sawa in this film. When he was still young, the dude from Eminem's Stan video, Devon Sawa. And there's also Seth Green when he was Buffy's vampire Seth Green. And there's some decent, ridiculous, comical elements going on here. So,
okay, cool.
well, that's the only
Only
thing.
there was a
we're
question.
done. No,
Only
I
there was
don't.
a
I don't give.
question.
There's not. We're
there's
done.
not?
That's the show. No.
Okay,
Michelle,
your
tell
opinion
us-
is the only one that matters.
Where have you been for the last 250 episodes, Michelle? You're
where
just
have I been for
realizing
the
this
length
now?
of the patriarchy?
Oh, God.
Okay.
Michelle, please tell us your
Yeah.
spoiler-free thoughts.
Sure. Yeah, I actually am pretty much right there with you. I wish I had some nostalgia for this because I think that this would have been one of those that I watched when I was younger and then continued to watch because it had some of my favorite moments over and over, and I would find it very funny and I would love it. Better than I thought it would be. Not as hyped as I thought it would be, but again, I think like all my friends who love this have a lot of nostalgia for it. So that makes sense. I'm watching it for the first time in 2024. I'm now a mature, middle-aged woman. I don't understand these high school stoner types. I'm jaded and I'm old. But I did enjoy it. I thought that there were a lot of funny parts. I don't like funny. I like sad. I like just being super depressed. So any happiness makes me upset. But aside from that, I am kind of in the middle and also leaning a little bit positive. Let's go 3.25 for me, just because Seth Green's really hot.
Ooh. 3 and a 3.25 is an average 3.125. That's
Nice.
not too bad for idle hands. Jenna is furious with us right now.
I know, that
She's
was
like,
part of the thing is
"You-"
I respect Jenna so much. I got drunk with her last week before, and I did demand that we become best friends. And then I haven't heard from her since. So
I mean, first of all, is that the kind of thing you can just demand of someone?
yeah, I mean that's how
Oh,
most of my
shit.
friendships start. End.
If-
They start.
I mean,
end,
if I had known that you could just be like, "Hey, you're my fucking best friend now," well, I guess let's be honest. I wouldn't have any more friends than I have now. I was about to say I'd have a ton of fucking best friends, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't.
You
I have
can
as
demand-
many. I have the limited circle of friends I have because, as a general rule, people suck. Oh man, JD's having a good week.
You are. You're having a great week. Definitely.
Oh, it's not so
a
bad.
mood.
If you're listening to this at the right time today, the day we're recording this, which is about a week before you could possibly be listening to it, might be several years down the line. I don't fucking know. But we just announced, we signed the papers. The deal is in the can. We watched Shudder bringing Darkest Day of Horror Film Festival. That's what we're calling it, to Fargo. ddhff.com if you want details. That's all I'm going to say about it in this episode. I just had to get it out there, but I'm so fucking... I said on Instagram after I posted it, I was like, oh, the instant I hit send on that message, I was just overwhelmed with a sea of imposter syndrome and what the fuck am I doing?
That is
But,
my everyday life. That was
yeah,
also a big part of
I was-
therapy yesterday.
You know what I know for sure though, Michelle, is that having that incredible wave of imposter syndrome means we're definitely doing something right.
I guess. We were also in High Plains Reader today, and I was like,
Yeah,
God, I hope
we got
instead
press.
of being excited, I was like, I hope none of my enemies see this and start sending me messages about how much I suck. That's where I go. I'm like, oh, it's nice that we got press. I hope nobody sees it so I don't get hate mail.
Well, it's not like you provided your direct address or anything. They would have to send hate mail through our stuff, and then I could step in and be like, hey, knock it off. And then they
That's
would listen to me
true.
because I'm a man.
Yeah, they would definitely. Yeah, because you're a man. They'd be like, "Oh, thank God, a voice of authority. I feel different about her now." Oh man. Okay, should we get into
people are
spoiler
like,
territory?
I was gonna say some people are like, Jesus, they're 15 minutes in. Are they gonna talk about the fucking movie?
We did briefly.
We did, yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna talk
Okay.
spoilers now. If you haven't seen this 25-year-old teen horror comedy, and you don't want it spoiled for you, now is when you should stop and then go see the episode or go see the movie. Michelle, tell everybody what happens in Idle Hand. I'm curious to see. What I'm really curious about this time is not your plot summary in itself. What I'm really looking forward to is when this episode plays and I can get Jenna's reaction to your plot summary. We might have to get that on tape and share it with the listeners. All these people are like, who the fuck is Jenna? They didn't listen to the Cabin in the Woods episode that she was a guest host on. She's a real person. Go check it out. But she's kind of become like, I don't know. She's like one of our gimmicks now. It's just name
she's
drop
definitely
Jenna.
a gimmick. That's all she exists for.
Everybody needs a Jenna in their life, but nobody needs two Jennas in their life.
Fair. I don't know what that means. Anyway, let's do plot summary.
I don't either.
Plot summary. Okay.
What's going on?
I don't know. I'm so hungry, and I'm just looking forward to this episode being done so I can eat my noodles.
Okay,
Send
do the plot
nudes.
summary, and then I will give you some noodle time.
Sweet,
Noodle
thank you. I just want to
time?
get
No,
back to my
that's-
noodles. I need some noodle
No,
time.
that's not what. Don't ever say that
No.
again.
That's what I call sex. I love me some noodle time.
I'm gonna go have some noodle time with my husband.
I need to be filled with noodles. Oh God. Okay.
Oh God!
Here's
Do we
my
have
plot
anything
summary.
to say about this movie? Go ahead.
I do. I'm okay. So Anton is Devon Sawa, and his parents die, and he likes drugs. Those are the two most important plot points at the beginning. And then Anton doesn't know his parents are dead, but we know his parents are dead because we are in the audience, and he is not watching the same movie that we are. Anton goes to get weed from Seth Green and Eldon Henson. Seth Green, super hot. First time I saw him, Austin Powers. I don't know why, but Scotty, I had a thing for Scotty. Very weird to think that's the best Seth Green. Eldon Henson, known for a lot of stuff, Daredevil and Mighty Ducks, but I know him from one of my favorite comedies that I just referenced in a different Spooktober episode just a few days ago, Cheaters. And it's one of those that not a lot of people have seen. So I'm just like, how is it the Cheaters month? Apparently Eldon Henson. Hello, Eldon. And then, yeah, that guy. So Anton goes to get weed, but he doesn't get weed. And then Druid Vivica A. Fox, she's following some murders. And then she goes, I'm going to go to the town that Devon Sawa's in because I am watching the movie and I know who Devon Sawa is. And he was great in Final Destination. And then Anton makes a sandwich. And that's when he figures out his parents are dead because he sees that the knife has blood. And then he runs into his parents, or who were formerly his parents and are now just bodies with pumpkins on their heads. How the fuck, this guy, he's not very smart because he's not even high for a lot of this because he doesn't have drugs for a good portion of it. But then I guess he does have drugs, and then he makes a blood sandwich and then discovers his dead parents. Mick and Penub? How do I pronounce P-N-U-B?
I think it's Penub.
Is it Penub? Okay. I watched it with
I think.
subtitles, and I was like, I missed how this is pronounced. I just know it was spelled Penub. So Mick and Penub find out that Anton is the killer, and then he proves them correct by killing them. He's like, ha! But then it wasn't actually him. It was just his hand. And then he murders his friend, and then he goes to talk to the girl he thinks is really hot, played by Jessica Alba. And the hand wants to murder Jessica Alba, but Anton only wants to murder that pussy. So he tries to hook up with her, but then he ties his hand to the bed, and she thinks that's kinky. And then her parents come home, and now his friends are alive, kind of. They are zombies, but not. They are just stoner friends who are also alive for some reason. And then Anton kills two cops who he went to school with. And then he cuts off his hand and puts it in the microwave, which he should have cooked that thing. It probably was delicious. I've heard that humans taste like pork. I'd be interested. But he didn't eat it, so instead the hand gets loose. They go to a school dance, Anton and his zombie friends, and they need to save Jessica Alba because the hand is going to take her soul. Whereas Anton just wanted to take her virginity. Just kidding. She's definitely done it before. And then the singer of The Offspring gets scalped. And I love anything involving The Offspring. So that was pretty great. The hand gets knifed by Vivica A. Fox, and then she goes to have ritualistic sex. Anton is crushed by a car but lives. And then Seth Green and Eldon Henson are angels now. The end. Idle hands. Oh, and the whole thing is that his hand was too idle because it wasn't the hand that he was using for a lot of stuff like masturbation. Idle hands are the devil's playground. So his hand became the devil's playground. They were looking for the like laziest SOB they could find. And that happened to be
his
Devon
left
Sawa.
hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is his offhand.
Exactly. His offhand. Okay, I'm going to go eat some
his offhand, not his jack offhand. Yeah, so, like I said, you see what I did there? So funny. Let's talk about this movie a little bit. I'm going to do my very best for you here, Michelle. So, this was like first of all, Devon Sawa, Seth Green, Jessica Alba, just top of their just annoying teen comedy MTV popular fucking just all three of them on top of their game here. Vivica Fox, I believe, I forget what she was just coming off as we came into this, but she was just starting her trajectory. She got into those Quentin Tarantino movies. This is one that was, at least I remember being everywhere and people loving it being silly and ridiculous. Jessica Alba's character in this is Molly, but we were just talking about on our episode about The Substance a couple of weeks ago about a character paradigm called the Mary Sue, and holy fuck, if there has ever been a Mary Sue in the history of cinema, it's Jessica Alba in this movie. This is a guy just like writing a person who doesn't exist. But it's all tropes and cliches. It's homages. He cuts off his hand because his hand is possessed by evil, like Ash in Evil Dead. It's fun and silly and ridiculous. It's a movie that I think most people, like I say, are not gonna be upset that they watched it, but it's just kind of there. Right? We've all seen a jillion things like it. Did that give you enough noodle time, Michelle? I don't know what else to say about this movie.
Give me 5 seconds. Talk about how hot Jessica Alba is or something. I'm almost done.
Let's talk about how hot Devon Sawa is, even at this age, and he's evolved in his hotness over the life. Here's what I want to say about Devon Sawa. I will, one of these days, Michelle, find a way for you and I to review the Devon Sawa film and Glenn Danzig written and directed Death Rider in the House of Vampires, because that's a Devon Sawa classic.
You're getting through this without
you can't mention Devon Sawa without mentioning Death Rider in the House of Vampires. It can't be done. Not anymore, anyway. He was in that movie, and I'm one of like 20,000 people who have seen that movie. So. But I genuinely, I barely remember anything about the plot of the movie at all. I don't remember why his hand was evil. Here's what I remember the most about but it was also, there was some kind of demon or something, that was, I guess he was just a mischief demon.
To the afterlife and steal her
right,
soul.
some weird shit or whatever. Here's the thing I remember the most from this. Is Seth Green had a beer bottle jammed in his forehead, and I thought that was some pretty fucking sweet makeup, and it was kind of cool to see. But if it sounds like I'm just saying empty fucking vapid stuff, it's because I am. I don't have a lot to say about the movie. I don't say something, Michelle. I'm a broken record.
I really also do not have a lot to say about it. It was fine. I have no
Right.
emotional connection to it. I'm glad that there's two hotties in it. That's pretty nice. Devon Sawa, Seth Green, always a good time. Have you seen Without a Paddle? I'm a big Seth Green fan. I can't help it. Can't Hardly Wait. Great. We can just talk about him for a while. He's just a little shorty cutie, and I love him. Yeah, all I can say is objectifying things about the two lead male actors. I got nothing else.
We should have
Nothing.
invited Jenna to do this episode with us, because she
Yeah,
might have had
smarter people
some
would have.
content to add. Yeah, well, I mean,
Unfortunately. We are who we are.
yeah, it's nobody ever credited us with brilliance.
Absolutely not.
Anyway, yeah, if you're looking for just some empty calories to get you through an afternoon in Spooktober, maybe you got a day in your schedule where you just want something light and easy because you put yourself through hell over the last couple of days. Idle Hands is not a mistake, but it is going to be like in and out of your head, I think, is the best way to explain that one.
Yep. Not bad. Not great. It was fine. I know Jenna's going to be so upset about this episode.
She's gonna be so
sorry.
mad. I have just, and legitimately, I have rarely been so just. Yep, that was a movie.
Yep. Definitely was. I spent half this episode just eating noodles on mute.
Yeah,
That's how much I cared.
What I love about it is, as I said, we made it about 15 minutes in before we actually started talking about the movie at all, and then you did like 4 minutes of plot summary, and I talked. Look, sometimes it's gonna happen when you try to. No, it's not our best effort, but it wasn't our best movie. And you know, sometimes you just aren't gonna have.
Sawa?
Whose fault is that, Jenna? Why'd you have to put this one on our plate? People are gonna be like, do they obsess about this Jenna person this much in every single episode? I mean, it is what it is, guys. You know, get used to it. It's not really that bad all the time. This one is just, man, I just hope this wasn't your first time picking up an episode, because, man, we're not making any new subscribers off of this one.
I hope it was your first episode so that you can be furious.
I promise they're better. Mail. Go listen to our episode about The Substance. We've recently gotten actually a lot of really positive feedback on that one, and we appreciate it. Because we both loved that
Imposter
movie.
Syndrome was wrong, and that I do feel like I did a good job.
I thought you had a lot of great stuff to say about that film. Oh,
really
also, by the way, I haven't, as long as we're here in the middle of it, so that people understand if this is their first time tuning in, that you're my friend and I care about your feelings. I haven't bothered to clarify specifically what he meant, but I got a text message from our friend Kevin the other day, and he said he was listening to our episode about Daddy's Head, and Michelle's 100% right is what he said. I didn't ask him to clarify specifically what he meant. That's not the actual wording, but anyway, whatever he said, it was something like that. And here it is. Michelle's description of Daddy's Head is perfect. I bet he means your plot summary. But
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that one, because I don't remember what I said. I enter a fugue state and things just start coming out.
Come back tomorrow. We're talking about The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I promise I have way more to say about that movie.
This one, if we had not publicly listed the schedule already, we probably would have made some adjustments.
Yeah, we might have been like, let's just maybe find a different movie to talk about there.
It's frankly, not bad. I just have nothing to say. There's no depth to it. There's nothing. You watch it. You understand it.
Let me be clear. If you enjoy Idle Hands, I have nothing against that at all.
Yeah.
I'm
what
just
am I
not
going to add to it? Nothing.
Well, I'm not a 18-year-old boy anymore. You know.
Me neither.
This is what it is. Anyway. Let's get out of here, Michelle. These people are done. This didn't need to be a half hour. Say goodnight, Michelle.
Good night, Michelle, and I'm sorry.
For more horror content, visit WeWatchShutter.com, where you'll find our world-famous, patent-pending Ghoul blog and Squelch files, as well as a schedule of upcoming episodes. Find us on social media at We Watch Shudder on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I guess Twitter if you're still doing that for whatever reason. You can email us. mail@wewatchshudder.com is the address. mail@wewatchshudder.com. You can even call and leave us a voicemail, 701-566-9510. No, really. 701-566-9510. Give it a shot. See what happens. We Watch Shudder is a production of Rat Factory Media.